It's funny, isn't it? How everyone loves to pretend they're in control. The ones who sit high, who smile down at you as if they own the world, as if they can pull all the strings and shape reality to their will. They like to think they can time things, calculate the moments when you're at your weakest, when you're down, when they can kick you just one more time and watch you break. They think they've got it all figured out. They think they've got the clock in their hands. But here's the joke. They never had the clock in their hands. Oh, they thought they did. They thought they could manipulate time, bend it to their desires, and trap you in their twisted game. They wanted to control your every move. They wanted to make you feel small. But what they didn't realize is that the whole time, the real power was never with them. It was with you. The moment they tried to tear you down, the moment they thought they had you figured out, you began to understand something they never would. You began to understand that time is never on their side. Time always has a way of catching up with them. And now that time has run out. The clock is ticking, but it's not ticking for you. It's ticking for them. For all their games, their manipulation, their lies, their false promises, their time's up. And you're the one holding the clock. You're the one with the power now. You're the one who decides when the game ends. You're the one who gets to say when the curtain falls, when the lights go out, when everything they've built comes crashing down. You've been waiting. You've been watching. And now the time has come. You've learned from every blow, from every betrayal, from every time they thought they could break you. You've absorbed it all. The pain, the mockery, the manipulation. It was never meant to destroy you. No, it was meant to make you stronger, to prepare you for this exact moment. And now they'll see it. They'll see that the power was never theirs. They'll see that you were never their victim. They'll see that you've been biding your time. Now you hold the clock. And you're the one who gets to decide what happens next. They spent so long thinking they could control everything. They thought they could crush your spirit, make you feel helpless, watch you crawl on the ground. They didn't see the fire inside you. They didn't see the resolve, the patience, the strength that was building up behind your eyes. They thought you were just waiting for them to push you down again. But you weren't waiting for them to do anything. You were waiting for the right moment to stand. And now that moment has come. The clock is ticking. Their time is running out. So here's the question. What are you going to do with it? You can make them beg. You can make them squirm. You can make them realize how small they've always been. You can remind them that they were never the ones who controlled your fate, never the ones who shaped your story. They'll watch you take every step. They'll see you rise from the ashes they thought they buried you in, and they'll know that everything they ever did to you was pointless, because you're still standing. And now it's their turn to fall. And the beauty of it, you don't even need to lift a finger. You don't need to break them. You don't need to tear them apart. The fact that you're still here, the fact that you're still standing tall, is the ultimate punishment for them. You've outlasted them. You've outsmarted them. You've turned their game into your own. And now they're left with nothing but the realization that their time is over. Every minute they spent laughing at your pain, every second they thought they were winning, every hour they spent plotting your downfall, it was all wasted, and they'll know it, deep down in their core, because time doesn't forget, time doesn't forgive, time catches up, and when it does, you'll be there, standing at the top, watching the clock tick down for them. Their time's up, and you're the one holding the clock. And the game is just getting started. They thought they could keep you in the dark. They thought they could shackle you with fear, force you to stay small, keep you running in circles, chasing after things that weren't even real. They thought they had you figured out, that they could break you down, make you believe you were weak, make you believe you needed them. But here's the thing about those who try to control. They always forget one crucial detail. They never account for the breaking point. You see, they believe they had time on their side. They thought they could pull every string, every trick in the book, and you would just fall in line. But time, like all things, has a way of changing, and they didn't see the shift. They didn't see that with every move they made, every attempt to keep you down, you were learning, you were adapting, you were getting stronger. And now they're feeling it. They're feeling the weight of their own actions. They're feeling time catch up with them. The walls they built to keep you trapped are crumbling, and they don't know how to stop it. They can't undo what they've done. They can't reverse the hands of the clock. All they have now is regret. And you're standing at the center of it all, watching as everything they thought they controlled falls apart. Because you are the one who has the power now. You're the one who decides when the clock runs out for them. The beauty of it is this: you don't need to be cruel. You don't need to pull them down and watch them suffer. No, the most powerful thing you can do is simply let them see. Let them see that their time is up, and you're still here. That's the real victory. That's the moment they'll realize everything they ever did to you was a wasted effort. And don't think for a second that they don't feel it. They know, deep down, they know that their time is running out, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. They can't turn back. They can't undo the mistakes they've made. They can't control the clock anymore. But you've always known the truth. You've always known that the clock was never theirs to control. You were just waiting for the moment when everything would come full circle, waiting for the time when they would realize that they were the ones trapped, that they were the ones running out of time. And now that moment is here. They're scrambling. They're trying to figure out how to fix what they've broken, how to stop the clock from ticking down on them. But it's too late. The pieces have already fallen into place, and they're powerless to change it. They can't take back the years they spent building their false empire. They can't take back the lies they fed you, the games they played, the control they thought they had. The clock is ticking, and it's ticking for them, not for you. And the most beautiful thing is this: you don't need to do anything. You don't need to lift a finger. You don't need to be their judge or executioner. All you need to do is watch. Watch as they realize that the clock is no longer on their side. Watch as they feel the cold, hard reality of the time they wasted. Because the truth is, the more they panic, the more they realize that they've run out of time, the more they will understand. They will understand that you were never their puppet. You were never the one to be controlled. They never had the clock. They never had the power. They thought they could break you. They thought they could destroy you. But instead, they created something far worse than anything they could imagine. They created a force that would rise. They created a force that would outlast them. And now you're standing at the top, watching as their time slips away. It's beautiful, isn't it? Watching them panic. Watching them realize they can't undo what they've done. Watching them squirm, waiting for you to make your next move. But you don't need to make a move. You don't need to do anything. Just let the clock tick. Let them realize what they've lost. Let them realize that their time is over. And when it's all over, when the clock finally runs down for them, you'll still be standing. You'll still be here. Because while they were busy trying to control the time, trying to control everything around them, you were the one who understood the truth. You were the one who waited. You were the one who learned. And now you control the clock. Their time's up. And you're the one holding the clock. And they'll never understand how it all slipped away. Now the tables have turned, haven't they? They thought they had you in check, didn't they? Thought they could break you, mold you, make you dance to their every whim. They kept their eyes on the clock, watching it tick away, assuming that time would be their ally, their weapon, but it was never theirs to control. It was always yours. You see, the truth is, They were never the ones with the real power. They were always distracted by the illusion of control. They didn't see the cracks forming beneath them. They didn't see the truth in front of them because they were too busy with their own self-righteousness. They thought they could tear you apart, make you small, make you suffer. But all they did was give you the tools you needed to become unstoppable. Every second they spent laughing at your expense. Every moment they thought they could break you was a lesson for you. Every time they thought you would be crushed by their words, by their manipulation, by their cruelty, you grew stronger. You learned patience. You learned that in the end, time isn't their ally, it's yours. And now the clock is ticking. But this time, it's counting down to their end. They're scrambling now, aren't they? Trying to figure out how to make time go back, how to undo what they did. But you can't undo time. You can't reverse the path you've walked. The game is over for them, and they're too late to realize it. Every hour they spent controlling you was an hour they could have spent understanding you, respecting you, but instead, they played their little games. And now they've lost. And you're the one who gets to sit back and watch it all unfold. You don't need to make a move. You don't need to raise a finger. They're falling apart on their own because time doesn't lie. Time doesn't allow them to rewrite their mistakes. Time doesn't let them reverse their decisions. The clock they relied on to control you is the same clock that's now ticking away their fate. They had their chance. They had their time, but now it's yours, and you're the one holding the clock. The beauty of it? You're not in a rush. You don't need to force their downfall. You don't need to make them suffer. They're already suffering by their own hand. Every second that passes, every moment they waste scrambling to figure out what went wrong, is a second you're standing tall. Every time they try to regain control, they're reminded of the truth. They can't control you anymore. They never could. But you are the one who understands how time works. You've waited patiently, watching, learning, growing stronger with every passing moment. And now when they try to run, when they try to fight, it's already too late. You are the one who decides when the clock runs out for them. You decide when they face the consequences of their actions. You decide when the game ends. And the best part, you don't need to fight. You don't need to destroy them. You don't need to lower yourself to their level. All you need to do is be patient. Let the clock tick. Let them waste their time trying to fix what can't be fixed. Let them squirm as they realize they've lost control. Let them watch as you remain standing, because that's the ultimate power. The power of resilience, the power of patience. They spent so much time thinking they could break you. They thought time was their weapon, that they could manipulate you, force you to bend, force you to break. But now they see that time was never their weapon. It was yours. And in the end, it's time that will be their undoing. The game is over, and they're the ones who lost. So let them realize it. Let them watch as the clock runs out. Let them feel the weight of their own mistakes. Because you're not in a rush. You don't need to make them suffer. They're already suffering. They're already facing the consequences of their actions. And all you have to do is stand there holding the clock, watching it all unfold. They had their chance. They had their time. But now it's yours. And you are the one holding the clock. And the best part, you've just begun. The final act is unfolding. The end is near for them. They've watched the clock tick down. They've seen the hands move, but they never truly understood that every second, every minute, every hour that passed was pulling them closer to this moment. And now they're standing there, desperately trying to rewind time to when they had control. But the truth is, they never had control. Time has always been your ally. You've learned that while they spent their energy trying to manipulate every moment, you were quietly, patiently, biding your time, waiting for this exact moment. And now that moment has arrived, As they struggle, as they try to pick up the pieces, they're realizing they can't. They can't change what's happened. They can't undo the damage. They can't fix what's been broken because the clock has run out and it's never going back. They'll try to beg for more time. They'll plead. They'll offer you everything they have, but it won't matter. It won't change a thing because you've already won. You're standing at the summit of all their mistakes, looking down at the mess they created. And the best part, you didn't have to do anything to make them fall. They did it to themselves. Every time they tried to control you, every time they tried to tear you down, they were digging their own grave. Every move they made was a step toward their destruction, and now they've reached the end of the road. Their time's up, and now you hold the power. You're the one with the clock. You decide how this ends, but the real power, the real victory, isn't in vengeance. It's in the realization that you didn't need to fight. You didn't need to bring them down to your level. You didn't need to make them suffer. They did that to themselves. They wasted their time. They wasted their opportunity. And in the end, they couldn't stop the hands of the clock from moving forward. So as the time runs out for them, as they face the consequences of their actions, you stand tall. You stand strong, and you know that you're not the one who's lost. They are. You've made it to the top. You've overcome the odds. You've played the game better than they ever could. And now you get to watch them fall. The beauty of it is, you don't need to say a word. You don't need to gloat. You don't need to force them to see their mistake. You don't need to make them suffer. They already know that they've lost, and there's nothing they can do to change it. You're the one with the clock. Now, you're the one who controls the moment. You're the one who gets to decide how this ends. And as you stand at the top, watching the clock tick down for them, you realize that the greatest victory is not in what you take from them. It's in what you keep. Your peace, your strength, your power. Their time's up, and you're the one holding the clock.